You are drifting through the calm story of the history of ancient India. And this first, unhurried chapter carries you to the edge of the oldest rivers, where the very first settlements rose quietly from the soft and patient earth. Before the story begins, let yourself arrive here fully. The day you carried has already grown distant now. Whatever it held, you can set it down, the way ancient travelers once set down their clay vessels at the water's edge, letting them rest in the cool mud of the riverbank. Let each thought that still lingers simply drift past you, the way the Indus carries a dry leaf on its wide and calm current, unhurried, moving on without asking you to follow. Breathe in slowly now, drawing the air all the way down, feeling your chest and belly rise with it. And breathe out, long and easy, letting your shoulders soften toward the stillness beneath you. Breathe in once more, quietly, and breathe out, releasing whatever remains of the day. Your eyes are growing heavy. The light behind them is soft and warm and dim. Your body is settling, the way silt settles gently to the riverbed when the wide water finally slows and grows still. The mind is quieting now, open and restful, and the oldest story is waiting, gentle as the river itself. You are somewhere very old now. You are standing at the edge of a great plain, and the air is warm and still, and the river before you is wide and slow and deeply brown with the rich silt it carries down from the far mountains. This is the Indus, moving south toward a distant sea, as it has moved for thousands of years and more. The land on either side is flat and open, and the sky above it is enormous, pale and silver in the early morning light. It is nearly 5,000 years ago. The world here is quiet. There are no great cities on this plain yet. There are only small and careful people, wading the shallows, watching the long-legged birds at the water's edge, planting seeds in the soft, dark earth the river has laid down for them in its generous seasonal floods. These people have found something. They have found that the river gives. Every year, when the great floods come down from the mountains, the Indus rises slowly over its banks and then retreats again, leaving behind a thick blanket of soil so dark and fertile that almost anything planted in it will grow. They have learned to wait for this. They have learned to read the river the way you might read a familiar and beloved face, knowing its moods, trusting its rhythms, feeling at ease within them, and so they stay. Season after season, they stay. They build small shelters at first, from woven reeds and river clay, simple and low against the flat land. They fire pots from that same clay, round and smooth, painted with delicate patterns. Small fish and curling leaves, and simple geometric lines that please the eye without demanding anything of it. They store their grain inside these pots. They feed their children. They sleep under enormous open skies, and the stars above this ancient plain are very many and very still. Time passes the way it does when life is slow and close to the earth. Generations come and go along these quiet banks. The small shelters become something more. The people learn to fire bricks in great kilns, and the bricks they make are remarkably even, each one a standard size, fitting together with a precision that speaks of patience and of agreement among neighbors. With these bricks, they build real houses, houses with thick walls that hold the cool air inside against the long heat of the day. The settlements grow, unhurried and steady. Streets begin to appear between the houses, and the streets are laid out with a quiet and surprising order, running straight and true, crossing one another at right angles. You walk along one of these streets now, in the long amber light of late afternoon. The air smells of wood smoke and baked clay, and something green and wet drifting up from the river nearby. Dogs move between doorways. Children carry small clay figurines, little animals and birds, modest and charming, smoothed soft by many small hands. The houses have inner courtyards open to the sky, where the air circulates and a family can sit together in the cooler shade. There are private wells, cut deep through brick and earth to reach the clean water below. There are drains in the floors, and the drains connect to larger channels running beneath the street itself, carrying wastewater away through covered passages of dressed brick. You look at one of these channels for a moment, and you feel a quiet admiration for the thought these people gave to living well and cleanly together, side by side. There are granaries here too, large and carefully ventilated, where the harvested wheat and barley are kept cool and dry through the long seasons. Cotton grows in the fields beyond the settlement wall, its white balls opening softly in the afternoon heat. These people will learn to spin this cotton and weave it into cloth, among the first people anywhere in the world to do so. And the thought of it is simple and wonderful. At the edge of the settlement, near the river, there is a large and very careful pool. It is lined with fine baked brick and sealed with bitumen so that it holds its water with great patience. Steps lead down into it from either side. The water inside is still and clear. Whether this pool is for bathing, or for ceremony, or for some quiet practice that mingles the practical with the sacred, no one living now can say with certainty, but you stand at its its edge in the fading warmth of the afternoon, and you feel something peaceful here, something that has endured. For now, it is simply evening. The sun is settling low over the plain, and the indusk catches its light and holds it for a moment, the whole wide surface of the river going soft and golden. The people of this old and unhurried place are coming in from the fields. Cook fires are beginning. The smell of grain and warm oil drifts through the still air. Somewhere nearby, a child is already asleep, curled in a cool room behind a thick clay wall, breathing slowly, dreaming whatever small and gentle dreams belong to this ancient and generous world, and you are settling with them now into that same stillness, that same warmth, that same slow breath of an evening thousands of years ago, when the river was wide and patient, and the earth gave freely, and life, for a little while, was very simple and very good. You find yourself drifting through a world that is already very old, already very sure of itself. The village is waking slowly, the way all ancient things wake, without hurry, without any sharp noise to break the soft gray of early morning. The sky holds a pale copper warmth along its lowest reach, and the first birds are not singing, yet so much as murmuring, as if they too are still half inside a dream. The market begins not with a crowd, but with a single sound. A cart wheel turning on packed earth, rolling unhurried through a lane so narrow that the mud walls on either side seem to lean close and listen. The wheel makes a low, steady rhythm, and it settles into you like a heartbeat you have known your whole life. The man who guides the cart is unhurried. He has done this every morning for 30 years. His shoulders carry the ease of someone who has long since stopped counting the steps between home and the market square. Goods come into the square this way, one slow arrival after another. Baskets woven from dried grass arrive stacked in great amber towers. Bolts of undyed cotton are laid across wooden frames, catching whatever breeze comes through the lane. Clay pots are set in rows on the ground, deep red and smooth, shaped by hands that understood the particular stubbornness of river clay. Each pot holds a small shadow inside it, a little darkness that stays cool even as the morning grows warm. You move through all of this without weight, drawn gently from one thing to the next. You are not looking for anything in particular. That is the gift of this place. Nobody here is rushing toward anything. The market is not a place of urgency. It is a place of slow exchange, of two people standing very close together and speaking in low voices about the quality of lentils, about the particular sweetness of a batch of dried mango, about whether the rains will hold or shift. A woman with silver rings on her toes lowers herself onto a low wooden seat near a pile of turmeric roots. The roots are gnarled and golden, and they smell warm, earthy, like something the ground gave up willingly. She does not call out to anyone. She simply sits, and the market moves around her, and soon enough people come. They come the way sleep comes, without being pushed, drawn by something they cannot name, but trust completely. You notice the sounds layering over one another in a way that is not chaotic, but textured. A hand brushing seeds from one clay bowl to another. The soft thud of something heavy being set gently on cloth. Bare feet on cool morning earth. Somewhere nearby, a small fire has been started to heat water for spiced tea, and the smoke rises in a single gray thread that bends and dissolves before it reaches the height of the neem tree standing at the square's far corner. The neem tree is enormous and old, and does not concern itself with any of this. The light shifts. The copper at the horizon has become a full warm gold, pouring between the houses in long slanted shafts that catch the dust lifted by each slow movement. The dust is fine, golden in the light, and it drifts so slowly that watching it is like watching time itself grow patient. A child runs across one of those shafts of light and is, for a moment, surrounded by something that looks like radiance. Then the child is gone around a corner, and the dust settles back into its quiet suspension. Merchants from the outer villages have arrived with goods that came farther than a morning's walk. A man spreads carnelian beads across a length of dark cloth. The beads are polished and deep red, almost warm to look at. Beside him, another has brought shells that came from a sea several days' journey away. The shells are pale and curved, and they hold the ghost of an older sound inside them, something low and rhythmic that you almost hear when you lean close. He does not explain where they come from. The shells explain themselves. You wander past a section where grains are traded. Mounds of wheat and millet sit in low, flat baskets, each mound smoothed at the top by someone's careful palm. A merchant reaches into a basket and lets grain run through his fingers, not to check it, but simply because it is a pleasant thing to do, because the sound of grain falling against grain is one of the more satisfying sounds the world makes. He does this slowly. The grain falls slowly. You feel something in you slow down to match it. There is an understanding in this market that things take the time they take. A negotiation over the weight of sesame, is not a conflict. It is a conversation. Two people who have traded with each other through many seasons and several droughts know how to talk about a small disagreement the way you talk about the weather, noting it, acknowledging it, moving past it without heat. They reach an agreement that satisfies neither completely and both well enough. They part without ceremony. You come to rest in a shadowed corner near a wall where someone has pressed handprints into the plaster a long time ago. The plaster has dried and hardened around those impressions, holding them perfectly, 5-fingered shapes that feel familiar in a way that is larger than memory. The hands were small. A child, perhaps, who stood here on the same morning kind of day and pressed palms against something cool and solid just to feel it, just to leave a trace of being here. The square is full now in the way that feels like fullness without crowding. People pass near each other. Voices are low. Transactions are completed with a nod. Somewhere, a merchant is wrapping something carefully in cloth, tying it with a length of cord, handing it to a woman who holds it against her chest for a moment before walking away slowly, satisfied. The neem tree moves in a breath of air. Its small leaves flicker, silvery green, catching and releasing light in a motion so slight it is almost no motion at all. The smoke from the fire near the tea cellar has gone thin and nearly invisible. The morning is fully here now, warm and steady, with no sharp edges anywhere. The market breathes around you, continuous and unhurried, one long, unbroken rhythm that has been keeping time in these lanes for longer than any name you know. You let it hold you, this old, unhurried world, this place of slow hands and warm earth, where everything arrives at its own pace and nothing is asked of you except to let it pass gently through. The priests rise before the first light touches the sky. Their movements are slow, deliberate, like the turning of seasons. You watch them from a quiet place, and the world feels smaller, warmer, held inside the cup of a single flame. The clay lamp is lit with a thin strip of cotton. It draws from a small pool of clarified butter, pale gold and still. The flame appears without ceremony, without rush. It simply is, all at once, a soft, steady thing trembling only when a breath passes too near. The priests cup their hands around it as they carry it forward, and the light moves with them across the cool stone floor. This is the age of the Vedas, a time of hymns sung before writing had come to settle the words onto palm leaf or bark. The sacred verses live inside the breath, passed from teacher to student, mouth to ear, generation after generation, somewhere beneath the ribs, ready to be offered like incense when the hour calls. The chanting begins low. A single voice, unhurried, shapes a syllable that seems to belong to the air itself. The sound is round and resonant, like a bell struck softly in a room where all sound lingers long after the ringing has ceased. More voices join. They do not compete. They fold into one another the way tributaries fold into a wide, calm river, and the sound becomes something you feel more than hear. The Sanskrit syllables are ancient beyond reckoning. They name the fire, the wind, the hidden life inside rivers, the particular warmth of morning sun on bare earth. They offer gratitude for things so fundamental that most people have long forgotten to notice them. Hearing them now, or imagining them here in this soft place between waking and sleep, you understand why the priests repeat them daily, like a kindness given back to the world that keeps giving. The altar is simple, a square of earth packed smooth, outlined with a border of ash. At its center, the sacred fire rests in a shallow pit, fed with dry wood split into careful lengths. The priests add ghee with a long-handled spoon, and the fire brightens for a breath, throwing a circle of warmth outward. The shadows along the far wall soften and lean. Grains of sesame, small as whispers, are offered into the flame. They disappear without sound, carried up in a thread of white smoke that curls and rises and slowly dissolves into the dark above. The temple itself is not yet the towering stone structure that later centuries will build. It is a modest enclosure, open to the sky at its center, with columns of heavy wood and a thatched roof that sighs when the night wind passes over it. The floor has been swept and scattered with flower petals, jasmine, marigold, and something smaller and white, whose name you let go without grasping. The petals release their fragrance slowly, coaxed open by the warmth of the lamps, and the air inside the space is sweet and heavy and very still. You are not required to do anything here. You simply rest in the presence of all this unhurried devotion. The priests move through their ritual the way rivers move through plains, without urgency, without doubt, following a course laid down long before they arrived, and long before you did. Their robes are the color of turmeric and old cream. Their feet are bare on the cool floor. An elder priest sits cross-legged near the fire, his eyes nearly closed. His lips move continuously, but the sound that comes is barely above a murmur, like a conversation held with someone very near who does not need to be spoken to loudly. He has done this every morning and every every evening for 40 years or more. The repetition has worn the ritual smooth, like a path worn by many bare feet, until only the clearest way through remains, and what is left is pure and without any sharp feeling. Outside the enclosure, the village has quieted for the night. The cooking fires have burned low. The children have been carried to their sleeping mats. Dogs have settled at doorways. Far off, a night bird calls once and does not call again. The only light still moving is the light inside the temple. A small congregation of clay lamps arranged in a gentle arc before the altar, each one a separate flame, all of them together making a warmth that holds the darkness back. Without effort, the priests will continue until the hour turns fully toward midnight. They are in no hurry. The hymns do not need to be finished. They have no ending, only a resting place, a point where the chant folds back on itself and begins again. The way the breath does, the way the years do, the way a river always finds the sea and returns as rain and finds the river again. You feel the stone floor, or perhaps just the idea of it, cool and solid and faintly textured beneath you. You feel the warmth from the fire, not hot, only kind. The chanting has settled into your chest, now like something placed there gently by careful hands. It rests without weight. It hums without sound. It simply holds you in the calm certainty that this world has always held people in just this way, by firelight, by song, by the soft insistence of a sacred flame. The smoke rises. The lamps burn. The voices move through their ancient phrases and arrive at syllables so old they predate all memory of being young. You are somewhere inside all of this, not as a stranger, but as someone who has been here before, in some earlier dreaming, in some quiet room before this one. The flame nearest to you bends slightly. A door somewhere has been opened, or perhaps only the air has shifted, tilted by some invisible current that comes and goes before you can name it. The flame steadies itself and burns on. The priest does not look up. He does not need to. He has learned long ago that small disturbances do not disturb what is truly still. You let your thoughts soften into the rhythm of the chanting. Each syllable carries you a small distance further from the surface of the day. The lamplight moves on the walls like something alive and unhurried. The smoke rises in its slow thread. The night deepens around the temple, soft and wide and full of rest. You are somewhere in the deep quiet of an ancient forest. The path beneath you is soft, worn smooth by many bare feet that came before yours. Tall trees rise on either side, their canopies knitting together It is still. The air carries the green smell of wet bark and deep soil, the smell of a place that has been growing patiently for a very long time. Somewhere ahead, a man walks slowly. He carries almost nothing. A clay water vessel, a length of woven cloth across one shoulder, a walking staff worn smooth from many seasons of use. He has been walking like this for many years, moving between villages and forests and riverbanks, stopping wherever the land feels right, resting wherever the afternoon grows heavy and warm. He is a sage, what the ancient people of this land called a rishi, a seer, a man who has spent long years listening to the world until it began to whisper back. You follow him gently, without hurry. His footsteps are nearly silent on the fallen leaves. Now and then, he pauses and turns his face upward toward a particular sound. A bird settling onto a branch, wind moving through the high canopy in slow, measured waves. He carries the memory of many rivers within him. He has sat beside more fires than you could count, and always he has listened more than he has spoken. He finds the same patience in a mossy stone that others might search for in a temple. He finds it in the particular hush that falls just after rainfall ends. The ancient forests of this land were places of tremendous learning. Long before the great cities grew tall and the trade routes filled with cart wheels and raised voices, the deepest teachings were born in places just like this one, among roots and ferns, and the patient drip of moisture from broad leaves after rain. People called these forests Aranya, the wild green beyond the settled world, and they understood that something precious lived there, something that could not be carried into a market or pressed into the routine of a busy morning. It could only be approached slowly, on foot, in growing silence. A small hermitage appears through the trees, a cluster of simple shelters, thatched and open on one side, arranged around a clearing where the grass grows soft and short. A low fire burns at the center, and around it sit several young students, their heads bowed, their hands resting open on their knees. They have traveled great distances to reach this place. Some came from settlements along the broad river plains to the west. Some came from the coasts, where the sea air carries salt even into dreams. They came because something in them understood that the forest held answers to questions they could not yet put into words. This is what the ancient people called the Gurukula. The word itself is tender in its meaning. It means simply the family of the teacher. Not a building, not a hall of formal instruction, but a gathering of people around a single, careful mind. The students lived alongside their teacher for years, learning not only what he said, but how he moved, how he was quiet, how he regarded a difficult question with patience rather than speed. You settle near the clearing and feel the warmth of the small fire reach you softly, without weight. The sage sits among his students and speaks very quietly. He does not raise his voice. He says that the self within each person is not something separate from the deep, still presence that holds the whole universe in place. He says this slowly, as though he has said it many times before, and knows it deserves all the patience in the world. The students listen. A moth circles close to the firelight. Somewhere in the canopy above, an owl adjusts its footing on a branch without a sound. These conversations became the Upanishads, the great sitting close teachings. That name itself carries the image of a student drawing near to a teacher in the hush of a forest evening. Generation after generation, the words passed from one careful mouth to another careful ear, preserved not in stone or in clay, but in the living warmth of human memory. The forest held them. The silence between sentences held them too. No word was written down because writing would have made the teachings feel fixed and finished. And these teachings were meant to stay alive, to breathe, to grow slightly different in each new telling. Much as a tree grows slightly different in each new season, not all sages walked the same path. Some wandered the full length of the great river valleys, stopping at village thresholds to offer a few words before moving on. Some stayed in one forest for decades, letting the forest come to know them the way it knows a stone or a root, thoroughly and without judgment. Some were young and restless with questions. Some were old and had grown past questions into a kind of open, luminous stillness that the young found deeply calming without knowing exactly why. All of them moved through the ancient land with that same quality of unhurriedness, as though they had understood something about time that most people spend their whole lives trying to reach. You breathe slowly, and the night around you deepens in its familiar, unhurried way. Stars are appearing now through gaps in the canopy, each one a small, bright point that asks nothing of you. The fire has burned lower. Someone places another piece of wood gently at its center, and a small scatter of sparks rises, brightens briefly, and fades into the dark above. A deer steps into the clearing without alarm. It regards the sleeping students with its large, calm eyes, then lowers its head to graze at the short grass near the fire. The sage notices and smiles, saying nothing, This too is part of the teaching. The forest never stops offering its lessons. It teaches in the sound of rain beginning far away and arriving slowly overhead. It teaches in the growth of moss across a stone, patient and green, and utterly unbothered by the passage of time. It teaches in the behavior of a deer, which comes and goes without apology, without needing to explain itself to anyone at all. The sages who walked these forests did not seek comfort in the ordinary sense. They sought something quieter than comfort, a settled feeling beneath all feelings, a ground that did not shift even when the seasons did. And what they found, they gave away freely, carrying it in words from one forest clearing to the next, from one generation to the one that waited patiently behind it. They moved through the ancient land like water moving through soil, unhurried, leaving everything a little softer and more receptive behind them. You feel yourself growing heavy, the way a stone grows heavy when the light around it dims and the earth beneath it settles. The low fire breathes its orange warmth across the surrounding grass. The students have curled into sleep one by one, wrapped in their simple cloths, faces smooth and at rest, each one's questions set down like small stones at the foot of a tree. The sage sits a little longer. He looks at the stars appearing in the gaps between the leaves. He looks at his sleeping students with the particular tenderness of someone who knows that the best teaching happens not only in spoken words, but in the quality of rest a person finds after a long day of honest listening. He is satisfied. The forest is satisfied. A slow breeze moves through the high branches above everything, soft and continuous, like the land itself breathing. You too are sinking now, slowly and without effort, into the same soft ground that has always been beneath you, steady and warm, and asking nothing at all. The stars over the great subcontinent do not hurry. They wheel in their ancient arcs, unhurried as river water finding the sea. And beneath them, the land breathes slowly through centuries that pile one atop another like layers of fine silk pressed into a chest. You drift now into a time when kingdoms began to stretch their arms wide across the warm plains. The Gangetic lowlands lay open and golden, receiving each season without complaint. Great rivers moved through them like silver threads drawn loose from a loom. And along those banks, in cities whose walls were made of fired brick and careful intention, something new was stirring. Not loudly, not with proclamation, simply the way a tide rises, without sound, without ceremony, until the shore looks entirely different in the morning light. Pataliputra grew beside the Ganges the way a tree grows, one quiet ring at a time. It rose from a modest garrison outpost into something grander and more deliberate, a city of wide avenues and timber halls, of granaries filled in autumn and council chambers, where oil lamps burned low through the long night watches. You can imagine yourself there, sitting near a latticed window while the city settles into sleep around you. Carts are still at last. The lowing of cattle has grown distant. Somewhere below, a night watchman taps his staff softly against the paving stones, keeping his own quiet count of the hours. This is the heart of the Mauryan world, and it is a world that has grown very large. Chandragupta Maurya began it all with a kind of patient, relentless building, drawing the western satrapies and the eastern kingdoms into a single breathing empire. He did not do this in haste. Campaigns moved slowly then, by foot and by horse, through monsoon mud and winter dust. And the men who walked those roads carried with them the memory of home, of a courtyard, of a grandmother's voice, of the smell of lentils cooking at dusk. Empires are made of such small remembrances as much as they are made of armies. Beneath the same stars that watched the river city glow, the southern reaches of the land kept their own counsel. Highland kingdoms rested in valleys cupped between green ridges, their kings ruling by older customs, by the counsel of elders, by the long memory of the land itself. The empire reached toward them, and sometimes touched them, and sometimes simply let them be. The way a slow river moves around a stone, it cannot easily shift. Ashoka came later, the third of the Mauryan line, and the night he accepted the full weight of empire must have been a night very much like this one you rest in now, dark and soft and full of stars. He had seen great violence, and it had changed something in him, turned something that was hard into something tender. He had pillars raised across the land, tall columns of polished sandstone set at crossroads, and beside sacred rivers, and on them he wrote his wishes not as commands, but as gentle urgings. Be kind, take care of animals, honor your parents, treat strangers gently. You have perhaps seen pictures of those pillars, or heard their words described, and there is something deeply restful in their spirit. They ask nothing dramatic. They do not threaten. They simply suggest, the way a soft voice suggests it might be time to sleep. And somehow that suggestion reaches deeper than any command could. After Ashoka, the empire breathed out slowly, the way a long breath finally releases. The provinces grew quieter and more separate. The governors who once reported to Pataliputra began to tend their own smaller gardens. This is not a sad thing. might sound like one. It is simply the natural motion of great things, the way a fire burns brightest at its center and gentler at its margins, until at last the heat is spread wide and mild across everything it touches. Centuries passed beneath the stars. The land held its own. New kingdoms rose in the south, along the coastal plains where the sea wind moved through coconut groves, and the air tasted of salt and warm spice. The Satavahana kings built their courts in those regions, and merchants carried cloth and pepper and carved ivory along sea routes that connected India to Rome and to the cities of Arabia, to Egypt, to the islands beyond the horizon. You can imagine a ship heavy and low in the water, its great square sail filled with a steady monsoon wind, carrying the quiet wealth of the subcontinent out across a dark and starlit sea. Trade moved slowly in those days. A merchant might spend a year on a single journey, sleeping aboard ship beneath southern constellations, watching the stars shift as the latitude changed, learning to navigate by a sky that felt tilted and strange and beautiful all at once. When he returned home at last, the familiar stars of his childhood hung exactly where he remembered them. That constancy was its own kind of comfort. The Gupta age arrived the way dawn arrives, gradually and then all at once. The northern plains gathered themselves again under a new dynasty, patient and generous, and the centuries that followed were full of a quiet flourishing. Poets sat in garden pavilions and shaped verses that would still be read 1,000 years later. Mathematicians worked in small rooms by morning light, and one of them understood zero in a way no one had quite understood it before, gave it a name and a place in the counting of things, and the world grew subtly larger because of it. You rest now in all of this, in the long unfolding of it. The empires rise and they ease back down, and the stars that watched them turn are the same stars above you now, or nearly so, drifted a little in their slow celestial cycle. The great stone pillars still stand in some places, worn smooth by rain and centuries, but standing. The rivers still carry their load of silt toward the sea. The land still breathes with the same unhurried patience it has always had. There is something very comforting in the long view. When you see time stretched out like this, like cloth across a wide table, the individual moments stop pulling at you quite so hard. Everything that mattered to those kings and poets and merchants, every decision and journey and inscription carved into polished stone, has settled now into the simple fact of having happened. Peaceful, complete, already held by history, the way a river holds The centuries lean in close and quiet, and you are simply resting within them. As the great story moves on, there is a kind of quiet that lives inside old words. You feel it now as you rest in the dark, as something gentle settles around you like warm cloth. It is the quiet of a language that has almost finished speaking, that has said everything it needed to say over thousands of years, and now breathes very slowly, very softly, near the end of its long breath. Somewhere far away, in a time you cannot quite reach, a woman shapes a syllable. It is a syllable from Sanskrit, round and whole, and she speaks it the way her grandmother spoke it, with the same gentle press of the tongue against the roof of the mouth. The word means something close to the sweetness of remembered things. You do not need to know its exact shape to feel it. It rests inside you already, older than any name you carry. Ancient India kept its wisdom in sound before it kept it on palm leaf or stone. Words were held in the body, passed from one warm voice to another, carried across generations like a flame cupped in both hands. Grammarians sat with their students in cool, leaf-shadowed courtyards and taught them how each syllable was made, how the breath moved through the throat, where the lips touched, how long a vowel could be held before it shifted its meaning entirely. Language was a living thing, precise and tender at once. Panini, who lived long ago in the northwest of that vast land, spent his quiet years cataloging the rules of Sanskrit with extraordinary care. He worked in a kind of compressed notation, elegant as a mathematical proof, where a single short sound could open into whole gardens of meaning. His work was a form of devotion. He believed that language itself was sacred, that the architecture of words reflected something true about the world. You can imagine him in the early morning, reed in hand, turning a single word slowly in the light, studying it as a jeweler studies a stone. Alongside Sanskrit, softer tongues moved through the markets and fields. Prakrit was the language of ordinary life, rounder in the mouth, looser, warmer. It was the language of mothers calling children home, of merchants counting bolts of cotton, of wandering performers who told old stories with new energy every night. Jain monks chose to write their sacred texts in Prakrit deliberately, wanting their teachings to reach people who had never studied in any formal setting. In the South, Tamil sang its own ancient song, one of the oldest literary voices in all of human history. Tamil poets of the Sangam era wrote about love and loss, and the red soil of their homeland with an intimacy that feels, even now, almost like a letter written to you personally. These languages languages touched each other along the trade roads. A merchant from the Ganges plain would sit across a fire from a merchant of the southern coast, and words would pass between them along with pepper and cloth and small talk about the weather. Languages left traces on each other, gifted each other syllables and idioms, the way long friendships leave certain habits behind. Over centuries, the sounds shifted. Vowels softened. Consonants blurred at their borders. New languages were born quietly from the meeting of old ones. You can feel that gradual blurring now. You can feel how each breath is a little softer than the last. The world outside is very still. The night is deep and dark and settled. Somewhere, very distantly, a single cricket sings its small, unhurried song. Copper plates were engraved with royal grants and dedications, then buried, gifted, stored in temple vaults. Monks copied manuscripts by oil lamp, pressing each character into palm leaf with a sharp stylus, then rubbing ink across the marks so the letters appeared dark and clear and careful. Some of these manuscripts survived centuries in the dry, cool air of temple libraries. Others did not, and the languages they carried thinned a little with each one that was lost. But a language does not vanish all at once. It thins gradually, like morning mist over still water, loosening its hold on one word at a time. First, the most specialized words go. The technical terms, the philosophical vocabulary, the precise names for things that no one makes anymore. Then the songs, which were already beginning to be remembered only partially, passed down with gaps. Then the conversational rhythms, the greetings, the gentle forms of address that once moved between people like small kindnesses. What remains after all of that is something like a residue, a warmth, a shape that language leaves behind even when the words themselves are gone. You have felt this before without knowing it, in the familiar curve of a name, in the sound of a prayer learned in childhood, in the particular music of a place that has been inhabited for thousands of years. These things carry something forward even when the original vessel is lost. Tonight, that residue is all around you. It is in the coolness of the midnight air, moving across the skin of your arms. It is in the slight weight of the dark, which is a very old dark, a dark that has held sleeping people in it for as long as there have been people to sleep. The sounds of ancient India have not entirely gone. They have dissolved into the background of the world, the way water dissolves into deeper water, leaving it changed, softened, fuller. Let the Sanskrit syllables rest now. Let the camel verses settle into silence like petals that have finished falling. The palm leaf manuscripts are still. The copper plates are cool in their vault. The reed stylus has been put down. The scholar who copied through the night has finally closed his eyes. The merchant is sleeping beside his goods. The poet has set down her imagery and is dreaming something she will not remember in the morning, something soft and wordless and entirely her own. You are resting now, not in any particular time, not in any city or century. You are resting in the hum beneath all languages, in the place where sound has not yet become word, where meaning exists before any tongue has shaped it. It is a very quiet place. It is a very old place. It has always been here, underneath everything, waiting for you to arrive. The midnight breeze carries nothing now. It is just a breeze, cool and soft and complete. It moves across you gently. It asks nothing, tells nothing, carries nothing but itself. You breathe. The world breathes with you, slowly, more slowly still. All the ancient voices have found